In SOLIDWORKS 2011, routing has a ton of new functionality, so here goes. All the individual libraries for electrical components, wires and cables, and for piping and tubing, and all the different add component wizards have all been consolidated into one single routing library manager. Extra component types have also been added, such as gaskets, OLEDs, hangers and others. The Add Component wizard has also had a user interface overhaul, making it easier to understand and faster to populate your libraries. Follow the easy instructions to add all the connection points in the correct locations in your models. These last two tabs control the import of P&ID data from external applications. The schema editor enables you to take the XML output from the P&ID system and break it down into its constituent parts so that SOLIDWORKS can understand it. Imported XML files in any format can then be categorized quickly using this straightforward interface. The final tab gives us a view of a new piping equipment database that can be easily populated with the components in the design library or with any components you may have created yourself or downloaded. This is used when the P&ID file does not include the associated SOLIDWORKS file for each piece of equipment. Rather than search for a suitable component, the database will immediately give you a filtered list of equipment to choose from, saving a lot of time and reducing errors. Let's look at some changes in pipe routing. Most new pipe routes start by dragging and dropping a flange into the assembly. Now the flange has extra intelligence and can auto-size itself to the port or flange it is assembled to, so you don't need to guess each time or make measurements up front. All you need to select is the schedule. When creating a route, you can now specify a default weld gap size to be applied between all the pipes and flanges. We'll see how that works in a minute. Add another flange to the route, which again auto-sizes, and finish it off with auto route to connect the flanges. Pipe routing used to be a labour-intensive activity, but with all the automation tools now available in SOLIDWORKS, it takes no time at all. Just for completeness' sake, we'll add a reducer and finish the route. SOLIDWORKS of course checks the validity of the route and suggests any changes that need to be made. The weld gap can clearly be seen in the 3D pipe models, and the cut lists are accurate and always up to date. If you need to adjust any gaps individually, there's a button for that, and callouts for each joint. Some big usability improvements have been added when routing using the P&ID import capability. After loading the XML file, you get a real-time report listing not only which pipe routes have been completed successfully, but also the port numbers and pipe tags to help you get a clear understanding of what's left to do. Processing the Mix 1 pipe route automatically adds the correct size flanges to the correct ports and adds a guideline between the two. You no longer need to be in auto route to convert the guidelines, and a right mouse click will cycle through all the possible alternatives. It's simple and fast, and of course you have all the flexibility of a 3D sketch to make any modifications you want. If you need to have more control over the location of your pipes, you can add dimensions. Dimensions added to pipes in SOLIDWORKS 2011 by default measure to the outer diameter of the pipe, so it doesn't matter what scheduled pipe you're using or if you've added coverings, the clearance will be maintained. Let's add the next route, which needs a number of extra fittings to be assembled. Of course, it's not possible to add these fittings until the pipeline is placed, so a new dialog called Filtered Connections shows all the individual pipe sections without the fittings. This gives a clear understanding of where the pipes need to go. We can convert the guidelines like we did before, but we can't have pipes floating in space like that, so we'll undo the auto route and give it a helping hand using the line tool to partially construct the pipes. When you're done, the guideline updates so you can use Convert Guidelines again and Autoroute to finish the job. Now when we process the pipe route again, the pipe segment where the currently selected fitting needs to go is highlighted in green, so there's no confusion. The new branch added to the T causes the filter connection dialog to appear again, indicating that this needs one of the fittings in our list to be placed along that pipe segment. This valve needs to go on this green segment, but the next valve cannot be placed, so we'll just come out of that for a moment, convert the guidelines, and go back in to finish processing the pipe. Now the last two remaining valves can be placed. The orientation of a fitting can be set when the fitting is placed, but if you need to move them later, you can use the new Move Fitting with Triad command. This brings up the familiar triad and allows you to rotate it easily using the on-screen ruler to snap to. If we rotate this T-piece, a new guideline is added, letting you know that we've broken the line and it needs to be reattached. We'll just delete these three segments and attach the dangling pipe to the T. Easy. But what about the valve underneath the platform? It can't be reached. Using the Move Fitting with Triad, fittings can be pulled out of the pipeline. SOLIDWORKS lets you connect the broken pipes using all the slick tools we've just seen. This tool alone will save an enormous amount of time if extra equipment is assembled and pipes need to be rerouted around them. SOLIDWORKS routing is a powerful tool to help every designer in the power and process industries. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Don't forget there's electrical routing too.